Hey guys, welcome to Raging Recaps with the Raging Rolls. Got Carlos and Dave with us. How you going, lads?
Hey,
Hello,
Jane.
hello. Very good.
Oh,
How are you?
Excellent. I'm well, thanks. I'm well.
Lovely.
Everything's humming along nicely in my world at the moment, despite another 4 weeks of inevitable lockdown. At least 4 weeks.
the Sydney lockdowns.
It's pretty amazing. Tell you what, I'm excited.
Good.
Were you out marching the other week? Is that something you're into?
I was
Yeah.
not.
I was not either.
Couldn't believe it.
Oh.
Oh my god, Sydney protests. What muppets. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk riots or war protests. We're here to talk raging. And we're going to go back to, was it episode 11 of our Call of the Seven Rings campaign, which was the one where they leveled up.
The one when they leveled up.
So we might recap a little bit about
Yeah.
that, and maybe a bit before that as to how we got there with the encounter with Lair Bleth. But yeah, give us your thoughts, guys. How did you enjoy episode 11? The leveling
Yeah, I
up.
thought it was interesting. Something different. Bit of RP, bit of focus on each character, hearing a bit more about their backstory, and it's kind of. I think that was interesting to hear a little bit about what each person sort of would aim to do if they had a bit of time for themselves. So it's nice.
Yeah, I liked that. It was good. Who else was there? So there was us three, obviously. Finri, Asteria.
Mhm.
Was that it? Just the
think-
5?
Yeah, we were missing Flint, Raya,
Yeah.
and Rafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We yet to hear about their leveling up experience.
Yeah.
Um,
So for me, I went to the house.
wait,
Finri.
which house? Let's dig into Malchus's experience
Yeah.
first. Yeah, because he was
Do
the
you want
first
to
one.
introduce Malchus for us?
Malchus is the kind of edgy but actually not character, the warlock sorcerer, with a background of being a noble from up north, half elf. He's come down south, found him early on, found a magical sword who he kind of loves, and an interesting relationship with, and basically does her bidding. Not too dissimilarly from Harm, but
Mhm.
I think we have probably slightly different relationships with our beings that give us
Our
power.
patron.
Yeah, patrons.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So originally we went to this house way back early because it was apparently owned by a noble person who had a bunch of magic items, and the thieves guild originally set us up with it, right?
Yeah, there was something they wanted in the house.
Yeah, I can't remember what exactly. You guys remember?
The star. I mean, that was ended up being a paperweight.
Yeah. But anyways, the items that we got were just a bunch of decoys, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So Malchus was thinking, oh my god, like we've already done this horrible thing. I hated it. I didn't want to steal from them originally, but fuck it, we're this deep into it. I want to get the actual loot. We've already, we've come this far, and especially after experiencing nearly dying with Lair Bleth, he's like, fuck it, we need to just become as powerful as possible to survive. I'm going back to the house to steal these items. Anyways, get there. Things are going well. Fine. I scouted out with my imp. Full invisible, hiding. Lovely. Perfect. Plan's going
Nailing
well.
it. Love it.
Sneak in. And I get there. Get into the room that we were supposed to get into. I guess the extra hidden room. And I find trash loot again. Just some gold. And then I got a couple hundred gold. And then a rich purple looking like hand fan with peacocks covering the surface. And it had the magical potential to cool. So
you roll the loot? Did you roll like
Yeah.
poorly? Did you roll really well? What happened?
I rolled.
Yeah, I feel like either Robin was totally stitching us up that whole thing,
Yeah.
or it was like a poor roll.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of both. Just like, yeah, you can roll on the shitter table with just trash items.
Just okay. So you went back into the house. Did you say you found the room you were supposed to find originally, or you went back to the same room?
Yeah. Yes. So I think we get back to the same room, and then we find the then I found another secret hidden room. You know what I mean? That was behind a locked door that I was able to teleport through.
Right. And you also you encountered someone else there. Had a bit of a conversation with someone, right? What was that about?
As I escaped, I met Cora as I was on the way out. Apparently, everyone in this bloody town can see through invisibility. so she saw me. I was like, okay, interesting. And by the luck of her jib, I'm not sure that's the right saying, but she was lucky. I was still only level 5, and I just burnt through all my level 2 spell slots. Otherwise, she would have been dead on the spot, especially with how she was speaking to me. How rude of her.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she told me that her and I guess her little crew have already been to 2 of the circles already, which was very frightening. I was like, oh, and she knew she had just had a ridiculous amount of information that Malchus had no idea how she got. She was extremely confident. She knew who we were, knew my name, knew we had the rings, and knew I didn't have the ring. And then throughout the conversation, she led on that we might not be enemies. Well, maybe not us, as in our group, but Malchus and her might not be enemies. That I might become an ally in the future of hers.
Did she let slip at all which circle she's visited?
I don't believe so, no.
And her name was what? What was it again?
Cora.
Cora.
A-H, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then, I made my escape. Oh, man. If there weren't the guards there, if it was just us...
And burnt through your spell slots.
Yep. What could have been? I might have just died on the spot. Just right there.
No level up for you.
And then I escaped out into the outside of the town, city, to just in case things were still being followed. They had some kind of tracking device on the gold or the item. I want to just play it safe. I can lure them out here if anyone does come. I buried the treasure, buried myself, keep watch of it. And then after that, I'm not sure if this came up on stream or not. I'm not sure if we were on stream, but during the breaks, I told Robin, oh yeah, I'm TPing back to get my shield, and then I'm gonna come back and meet up with her. Did you guys?
No, what was the thing about the shield?
Oh yeah, remember back in like episode 2 or something, after we killed the Boule?
The Boule.
Yeah. We
one of the first names you'll hear in the book.
Yeah. We got its corpse, and then I spoke to one of the I forget what you call them. Not a blacksmith, but like people who
Crystal
make
Smith.
Things. Sure, yeah, maybe not a crystal smith, because basically taking the hard outer shell or whatever of the Boule, turning that into a shield.
Nice.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that.
Should have
Excellent.
been that should have been done by around this time, and then so I would have TP'd back, and then I think obviously I would have told everybody, hey, meet up at this time. I've got important news. While everyone was out, see you at this time at the end of the week or whatever, and then probably at next session we'll go through that, so I can tell everybody about the news. But very interesting, and kind of it changes so much about how the campaign is gonna go. I think
it really does. 'Cause
it's
you-
not just us.
Like, do we end up doing the massive trek over to Circle 5 only to find it's already been, you know,
Yeah,
ransacked?
yeah. And I wonder what that means. Like, can we even get any use out of the the other circles if they've already gone through? I wonder.
Maybe a new quest will befall us. Maybe we'll have to change the campaign name to something else. Who knows?
Yeah,
The quest of the 5 rings. Who knows?
yeah.
Um,
So-
question for Malchus.
Mhm.
What was he thinking going back to that mansion or just solo?
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm invisible. These are just dumb noble people. It was fine last time.
Dumb
Just
nobles.
these stupid guards, I'm fine. I can TP out. I had my my imp too, so I was looking through the eyes of my imp, scouting out, the entire house beforehand, making sure, and then yeah, he's fine. He's very confident.
So it seems. I wonder how that will show up later on when he potentially just gets overly confident at the wrong moment. It was funny
I
seeing.
think
It was funny seeing the struggle written all over your face when you were just trying to figure out, do I try and take on this Cora or do I not? What do I do?
I think prior to our time with what's her name? That big bad evil lady that we made.
Lair Bleth.
Lair Bleth. Prior to Lair Bleth, I think Malchus would have been like, I will kill you. But after that, after the near-death experience, he's a lot. He's been humbled. It's not too.
Ah,
Yeah.
humbled enough just to go on a solo stealth
Mission.
Well,
mission.
to him it made sense, right? Because he's like, well,
Yeah.
if he brings anybody else, they might just be less stealthy and too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mhm.
It's a one-man
Mhm.
operation. Yeah.
Fair.
Fair. Yeah, and he made a good choice, I think, in not attempting to take her on one-on-one. I think that's
Oh, yeah.
character growth right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the sign of I was thinking back to our first campaign, Dave, and we made that pivot from we'll just fucking kill everything through to let's think about this first and maybe not attack everything. Because killing beholders was sometimes just fluky.
It was. We didn't stop
Yeah.
whole person though. That never really stopped.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the thing with killing
Thanks.
NPCs as well is it's like if you kill them, you just never get to interact with them again. That's kind of lame.
Yeah.
yeah, this is
yeah.
true. Extra pressure on the DM to create new stuff all the time. Just,
Yeah.
half the fun. Because then he creates amazingly, now forever canon characters such as Dakota Jones. Absolute
Yeah.
classic. We'll come back to that, I'm sure.
That.
So your quest to go and re-raid Riani Anger's mansion resulted in you acquiring a fan of wind or something like that?
Yeah.
And some gold.
Yep, a regular fed and some gold.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been a fan of breaking wind. So when you're playing, it just puts a gassy smell into your nose. That would have been the
Yeah.
worst, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too good.
Yeah,
So,
I think yes, something's definitely up because the Cora said that she already took out all the magical items that we were looking for. Basically, I asked,
Yeah.
where's all the good stuff? And she's like, oh yeah,
And-
you think I'd leave that here? Something like that.
Imagine, I mean, the question I have there is, did that happen before we arrived the first time or before you arrived the second time? Did we miss that whole room the first time through and miss all the magical items that were available?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I reckon we must have, because we just went straight to that one room. We found the thing which that dude was looking for, and we just got the hell out of Dodge. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. I think there was a lot more to explore there, and it feels felt far too easy that whole
Yeah.
encounter, that whole thing.
we gotta go back a third time.
We have to get back a third time. We'd turn him
You know
into
you
another
should've
big
done?
bad, yeah.
You should have asked Cora out on a date, right? That seems to be 2/3 of our RP and way that we get information from characters at the moment.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, just get a bit of ERP going and get
Yeah.
into it.
Malchus wasn't already taken by a sword. Maybe.
Oh, so committed.
That sword's got a long hilt, so you can both hold it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can come into play with a bit of erotic roleplay. I'm sure it can.
So, just on that, wrapping up your thing at the moment there, Carlos. I think that was it, right? You went and hid. You found you got some goods. You hid that. Came back. Talking about a bit of ERP there, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
What was the steer you're trying to do? What was her motives? Do you think we're trying to go and have a second go with Altalis?
I think she wanted to keep it going, you know. I think that's perfectly fine. She wanted to, you know, get back in, maybe find out a little bit more information, build that relationship, have another resource in the city.
Do you reckon that's the motives?
Well, I mean, that's definitely the motives that we're going to talk about, you know, tonight. She might have had some other motives, but, you know, I don't know her motives that she didn't really talk about. So, but yeah, I think she rolled horribly was the biggest issue there, and yeah,
rolling a natural one
makes a difference.
did not help.
Yeah.
It didn't help having you know, Finry, the trickster, translate the message into Thieves' Cant. Not 100% accurately, twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a bit of a miss, that one. Even though there was a bit of a miss there, she still managed to level up.
Yeah.
Because why not? Because this is the one where they level up.
This is the one where they level
It
up.
was mostly the fight, we'll say.
Mostly the
Yeah.
fight, yeah.
It was just, you know, we were 1 XP off, and then, you know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good RP, 1 XP.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else then? Then we had
We had Harm, I think, or yourself.
Might have been Hector.
no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit, mate.
Yeah.
What was Hector up to?
Hector had a couple of tricks up his sleeve he was trying to pull off. Being the artificer, I wanted to try and explore that dimension a little bit more and trying to get building some stuff. And given that the Blender of Doom has become part of our conversations, I thought that sounds like a good weapon to create to try and get out of, like, try and also damage and grapple at the same time.
Yeah.
Because he's fairly squishy. Something to just stop someone in his tracks and get the hell out of Dodge.
So just to be clear, for anyone who's dialed in and missed it throughout the times, the Blender of Doom, every now and then in the background of Hector's voice, what we hear is just an absolute crazy blender sound as you know, the NutriBullet is executed in the background and just vibrates his entire house. And it's attacked us so many times over the audio, we thought we actually needed to get it into the game and make it canon. So yeah, Hector making it is just
Blender of
brilliant.
Doom.
I love it. Blender of Doom. And talk us through it a little bit.
So the idea was kind of a mishmash of take the inside blades of a NutriBullet, attach it to a rope, such that you could do like the whole Mortal Kombat Scorpion get over here piercing throw of the rope. But being a tiny little gnome, I didn't want any kind of characters coming back to meet me toe to toe. So I thought, why not use the rope to try and grapple them at the same time? God knows how that works mechanically, but it's, you know, I think my artificer can pull it off, and he did.
Happy days.
Yeah, that was the idea behind it. So having that idea, I went back to, I wanted to do two things. I also wanted to go and pick up my crystal finder, my crystal sweeper, following up on the task I left with the crystal smith after meeting them, which was post finding the erupted crystals in the markets in where are we? The town we're in.
Avolo.
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 Yeah.
I don't like it feels like that encounter in the markets was so long ago now that the
Yeah.
crystal sweeper is going to be superfluous. But given how prevalent the crystals are in this world, I think being able to find them when we don't have any around could still be handy. So I'm
Yeah.
happy with that purchase. Not quite happy with the deal that he had to strike with.
Mate, you got scammed. What the hell was
What
that?
was the deal? What was the deal?
I think we landed on 10% commission of any sales, and she's got the prototype.
Well, that's not
So
too bad
you
though.
get 10%.
10%.
Made it.
I mean, it was your generic idea. It's not like you put a patent on it, right?
Well, I'm not sure if patents exist in this world, but I would have liked to think the IP was mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, what like in any case, as a merchant, I was happy to strike a deal and get any kind of income.
Look, passive income over the next, 12 months.
I'm just going to watch it go up exponentially, right? It's just going to skyrocket. Watch these stocks
Just
fly.
invested in Crystal Coin.
Crystal Coin. Oh man, I need to set up an empire. I think, yeah, Hector's got to set up like a franchise of sorts. Every town, stand up a new shop. I think.
I love it.
Yes.
Your
On it.
Crystal Coin mining system will actually people mining crystals out of the ground to turn into them for the Crystal Coin. Not
Yeah. Oh god.
right. It'd be the actual mining rig will just be like a square unit with people digging around the side. Right.
So, yeah, he wanted to build this thing. Wanted this to be his leveling up experience because I think one of the level 6 traits is I get double proficiency on any tools that I'm proficient with already. So I thought I need to get hands on with the tools to make that worthwhile. And then working with the crystal smith, I was able to stick a crystal. What did she do? She infused the coil with crystal energy or something.
Yeah.
Now, I was in my head, in trying to dream this up, I was really looking for some kind of epic like advantage on attack rolls or plus whatever to damage and this kind of stuff. In hindsight, I was probably dreaming a little bit too big. And I ended up with a +1 crossbow, more or less, with an opportunity to grapple. Not bad.
Not bad.
And a crystal sweeper. And with level 6, I've also managed to adjust some of my infusions I know. So now, come tomorrow, I'll have a place to put all these bad boys.
Very nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see as we get some more crystals, as the crystal sweeper finder becomes a thing, what we can start to do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I've got to get creative. And I'm looking forward to what Harm has in mind to try and... is it a set of gloves I think you're after? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few things going on with Harm. So, I mean, his leveling story was a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Leveling story is a little bit interesting.
Look,
Very interesting.
do take us through that, because I'm just going to put the link up for anyone who wants to jump onto our Buy Me a Coffee site and check it out. Become a member and you get access to all the character journals. But just take us through that story there, Dave.
I love on the stream the stream that's coming up underneath you there, Jez, on the actual screen, and the Buy Me a Coffee link cuts at the end. So Raging Growls. Love it. Raging Growls. So Harm's a death cleric, death domain cleric, and he follows Anubis, god of murder. And he's been doing Anubis's bidding, right? That's his main thing so far. Like, sheltered dude, pretty nice guy. Anubis kind of spotted he's got some magical abilities. When the crystal stuff happened, he's got kind of like a natural talent for stealing life essence. Anubis is like, I will help you. I will train you. I'll give you some skills and a few extra, put you on a magical path. So I thought it would be fitting if, this one where we level up involved, becoming a little bit more death cleric-y. So I'm not playing him as an evil character at the moment, and as I was chatting offline before about I don't know how I'm going to portray that in future levels, but for the moment he's kind of just obedient rather than evil. And this was kind of one of the first times where something was pretty drastic. So essentially Anubis had him killed, while he was in that state of death, Anubis, had a chat to him and gave him a bit of something to go and do. And then that something to go and do was essentially go and murder and, absolutely obliterate and massacre an entire encampment. And, leave the mark of Anubis there. And so just went off after they all got back to Avolo one night after being killed and resurrected by Anubis and did the deed. I got a little bit of a chance of keeping a bit of a wiki about the world of Trancasha that we're operating in, and so I got a bit of a chance to write up this new location on the map, and we've named it Anubis's Landing. So Anubis's Landing, it's a place where the bodies, they don't rot, right? They're stuck within this, it's a bit of a macabre place. The bodies, nature won't touch them, animals won't go near them. The bodies are just stuck there at the moment, right? And it's a bit of an interesting place. So people nearby are forging a new path around the camp to get to where they need to go to the nearby towns and things. And it's just like this really devious site. It's
I didn't realize you plotted a new place on the map. This is the town you went and Harm went and slaughtered.
Yeah. So it's essentially like a bit of a biohazard now, right? Things don't work right there. You'd expect the bodies, to start to deteriorate, become, they're organic matter, and they don't. They're just stuck in this place. And I have a feeling I might go visit it in a level or two when I get a few spells around being able to bring people back, maybe.
Interesting. Setting it up. So, love it. Is it
playing the long game?
Is it nice and central to everything we need to do?
It's not exactly central, but it's back near Avolo. So anytime we're back near there, I might make a trip and go and do some devious things there.
Collect some more lemmings.
That's it. But I mean, one of the cool things about Death Clerics is the ability to, when they reach those third level spells, animate dead. So bringing back zombies or bringing back skeletal remains as skeletons. So there's a few interesting things that's going to be cool there. So one, we'll have a couple of extra cannon fodder for when we're actually in some big bad fights, and going to be an interesting conversation with a certain druid, Circle of Stars druid, about having undead just hanging out with us while we're going places. Yeah.
Would you mind, do you think?
Well, you have to get used to it. Maybe one of us will need to learn some sort of, some sort of minor illusion spell to make them look less undead or something.
Get Finry's makeup on them, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Very high cheek lines and stuff.
Exactly.
How do you think Hector would feel about it?
About having some undead walk around with us?
Yeah.
He's not going to be the most comfortable with it, that's for sure. He's not, all this stuff is all new to him. He's just used to selling stuff in a shop and spinning up potions. He's not going to be comfortable with zombies following him around.
Yeah.
Certainly not on a permanent basis.
I think that, just to throw it out there, I think that Harm's going to be a little bit thrown up by it as well initially, right? He's just a dude been working as a follower, a cleric in a temple for a while. Suddenly he's out there killing people and, being obedient, but there's a difference between doing something you're told to do and then just having undead people follow you around and do your bidding for you. That's a next level type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, could be interesting. One of the things I'm keen to actually get the work out either with the DM or work out with Hector is actually create a little bag, and there's a book by, I think it's Raymond Frost, Feist, maybe, The Magician, and in that series there's a wizard who's got or a magician who's got a bag, and the bag just opens up a tiny little portal to a large stack of oranges. So he's always just reaching into his bag, and then this little hand just pops out above the oranges and he pulls one out, right? And I had this idea that if we're stuck in the middle of nowhere and I need to raise some dead, I might need to have a bag like that that's located in a morgue somewhere. So if I'm in the middle of a dungeon, I've got no skeletons, not just, run out of skeletons, maybe they died in the last big bad, I can just reach into my bag, pull out the occasional skeleton or two.
Now, I've read something like this because one of the Hector's things is create these magical infusions, and one of those is I can replicate a magic item. and I'm digging around all these things. I'm sure I saw something like that. But how different is what you're describing to, say, a bag of holding?
Yeah, so the bag of holding, and I don't want it to be something like where I just use a bag of holding and it's just like got everything in there, right? This would be different in that the bag of holding goes to like a different dimension, and I think about what I want there, and then I put my hand in, I pull that item out, right? This would be more, there's a morgue that has a bone pile in the corner, and my little bag has like a portal to just above that bone pile or the middle of that bone pile, right? So, you know, my old temple or something where I was helping people cross over. You know, the idea would be I just reach in and I grab a couple of bones out that I can use to, you know, enough bones to actually raise a skeleton type thing. And the idea is that's the only use for it. It's not an additional storage location or anything like that. It's just a little portal. So if I need to, I can grab a couple of skeleton bones to get another skeletal archer or skeletal cannon fodder up front or something like that.
But couldn't you just stick a bunch of bones in a bag of holding?
Well, this is the thing. I'd need to have a bunch of bones to carry around with me, right? And it's one of those game things. Do I want to go and raid it? Do I want to go and raid a graveyard every time?
Gotcha.
You know, in every town, and then have that thing of these guys coming to town and the graveyards get robbed.
Yep.
Or do I want to have it more of just a little thing where, you know, whatever place I'm at, whatever, you know, wherever we go, it doesn't cause a big drama for me to get the occasional skeleton up.
Yeah, okay, I got it. But you can put these little portals around many places potentially. You could just throw a little portal opening thing in any graveyard you want.
And I don't want to make it too much of it. I don't want it to be too much of a like there's 50 portals and I can just reach in. I want to make it a little bit more, you know, not trying to make it too easy mode.
Yeah.
But just have like, maybe sometimes I reach in and I got to roll a dice, and sometimes there's no bones there. You know, there's somebody in the room who just sees my hand pop into existence for a second, feel around like, and then there's nothing there. You know, rolling that one, somebody grabs your hand. Damn it.
And then you grab a mice or something.
Yeah.
I see.
You know, rolling that one, put your hand through, and it appears in a cauldron of boiling water or something.
Brutal.
Roll for damage. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want it to just be easy mode, but I thought it'd be a cool little RP thing that go and visit a, you know, graveyard or a death cleric temple or something like that, and just set one of these little things up. But yeah, just trying to think of some cool stuff like that to make.
Just thought experiment here for a moment. Let's say we go on the Boule we destroyed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to acquire a bone of said Boule and stick it in your stash, does that mean that you're able to recreate a zombie version of that?
Good question. The zombie or skeletons that I bring back, I think I've got to have a certain amount of bones to kind of make one, and they've got pretty set stat blocks, so I don't think I'd get like an awesome Boule stat block or anything like that. I think I'd end up, regardless of what I actually create, I think I'd end up with a pretty standardized unit. So
I'm looking forward to you leveling up and being able to create a zombie beholder that's on our side.
Love it.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, not this level that we've just had, but the next level, I get a whole bunch of things because I'm, I dipped a couple of levels into fighter to make me very, very, well, you know, if you're going to fight somebody like Lair Bleth, for instance, I would have been a really good resource because I could take a lot of hit points and attack and hurt them a lot and stuff. So I'm just saying, like, that would be a good situation with a couple of points in fighter that I've got. But yes, the next level we go to, I'll hit that 3rd level spell slots and get a whole bunch of really cool death cleric stuff and a whole bunch of really cool just cleric stuff as well. So
good. Maybe you can, when you hit that next level, forego the earplugs next time you're having a bit of a session with Anubis.
If you go back and count, I reckon I was probably praying for 40 seconds, and nobody thought to wake me.
39 seconds longer than necessary.
But the last little bit.
Oh no, something's gone wrong.
It hooked me up with a new. Oh, it looks like we might have had a freeze there. No, you're back. Great. Anubis hooked me up with a new spell. So the idea that, you know, as I start to get better at being closer and entwined to people's souls and things, he hooked me up with Warding Bond. which is a bonding warding bot. I don't know, one of them.
Mhm.
Essentially, I connect myself to somebody and I suffer their damage if they take damage, but I also give them saving resistance to all damage and advantage on saving throws and +1 to AC. And
Damn.
that's a pretty cool.
That's a
Pretty cool thing.
lot.
Yeah.
That person is within 60 feet of me, and it's not concentration, and it lasts an hour.
Well, guess
I
who's
was
going to
like,
be hanging
Thank
around
you very
home?
much.
Very cool. Yeah, lots
Yeah.
going to be one of high-fiving me just before the battle.
You're gonna have a lot of new best friends. Oh wow.
So I feel like resistance to all damage is somebody who's going to be in the thick of it is going to be getting something cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
How do you see the relationship between Malchus and this mysterious sword opening up? Or is that a little bit too secret to share?
Yeah, like I
Ooh.
wish it's difficult because you know, especially with so many players, it does feel like a bit weird, kind of sucky to say like, oh, hold on guys, I'm gonna chat to my sword. Yeah, you know what I mean? I feel like so a lot of the you know, interesting relationship dynamic between them hasn't really you know, come across or shown
Yeah.
up on screen. But yeah, yeah, it is interesting because from what from how Robin's been the small segments we get, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, she seems pretty yeah, very interesting lady.
Look,
That's scary.
I'm just personally speaking, I'm all for you doing a monologue with your sword because I've
Yeah,
got no
100%.
idea what's going on.
100%.
Yeah. Honestly, we're not I'm not entirely in the dark as you, of course,
Yeah.
but you're not far off.
Okay, all right, got it.
There's lots of mystery around it, even to me. We're all blind to it.
Yeah.
Maybe Robin as well.
Yeah, maybe.
No, but I think for the most part, Malchus pretty much just in love with her. She's his she's the one who saved his life, you know. She's the one who gave him the powers and given him a reason to exist and took him in as, you know,
Yeah.
his family.
Do we
And,
know? Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're right. No.
Do we know? Do the characters know if the sword was once a person, or elf or anything, or are we just in the dark about that and it's just a sword and we have no idea?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think Malchus knows because
Hmm.
at the beginning, I guess this is out of character. Talking with Ron, we both kind of left it pretty vague, you know, left things open. I just kept it an otherworldly being, and then I think he has a vision for what she is. I think he knows, but Malchus doesn't know, and I don't know yet. I didn't really want to know because Malchus didn't know as well.
So many
she's
lines.
kept that she's kept that secret, and yeah.
Look, I think it's kind of cool, like the way we're kind of doing this with Robin. So there's that idea that it doesn't have to be locked into something. If he gets inspiration one night while he's having a few Queenslander rums, you know, he can be like, this is the best idea ever. I'm just going to do this. It doesn't have to have any massive pivot. Doesn't have to be any major drama. He can just be like, this is where we're going with this. Harm and Anubis is a little bit the same, right? So, you know, Anubis has a cosmic plan, right? Or the celestial plan. And I have no idea what the celestial plan is. I was like, hey, Robin, if you ever want to do something, just make it part of the celestial plan and it has to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like he's the one who chooses what names appear in my book, right? He's the one who chooses what sort of things you have in this conversation with your sword. Like, there's a level of we get to choose the RP and how we're relating to this world, and he still gets to be the DM and be the part of weaving that through his bigger story.
Yeah, no, I really like that dynamic.
I think it takes a special kind of DM to be able to take all this random open-threaded stuff that everyone's just launched at him, and gives him a lot of the time the day of our session. What if maybe, you know, here's an open thread, see what you want to do with that, and he'll just take it and run with it at some point, which is great. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been further refining a bit more of Hector's backstory. And just thinking about what you guys just mentioned then, keeping it very open and giving it to Robin in a very ambiguous manner. Definitely what I have to do, because there's a lot there, and I don't want to dictate how it's going to turn up. I just want to control how I react to it.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
definitely the way to go.
Love it.
Let's talk about. We've talked about Malchus's leveling up experience. We've heard of Harm's experience and Hector's and Asteria's. Let's talk about Dakota Jones and Finrey.
Ooh, the main character this episode, anyway.
The big
Very
Dakota.
interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff.
Dakota squared.
Finrey struck me in this, when he first, I guess, came to the fore in this last episode as someone who was just on too much sugar. He just seemed like he was super hyperactive. He was like, he knew he was going to meet this guy soon. He was just super excited. He had this new shiny toy in these jet braces which he discovered, and he was super keen to get that all sorted out. And I remember trying to play when he was trying to portray him talking to Hector at the time. I'm thinking, Hector's in the middle of trying to build shit right now. Like, fuck off, Finrey, basically. he was Hector just wanted to treat him like a toddler at the time. But yeah, and what was your guys' perception of how Finrey was carrying himself at that time before he headed off to meet Dakota?
Well, for me, I don't think Malchus really saw him then, because I was out most of the time, buried in a ditch for 2 days, and then went back down to Avonrath.
That's true. You're all at separate times. Yeah. I see.
I was out at a dinner party.
The timing doesn't
have
work.
proof otherwise.
So yeah, after Finrey arranged a date and time to meet Dakota.
I think he was full of hope, man. Like, I mean, if I think about that, like, he's been, pushing this thing for Dakota Jones, the whole, even all the way back when we first were in the Thieves' Den, and he finally had a chance to, get Dakota's name and all this sort of stuff. Like, I think there was this flicker of hope, right? This book might have something that tells about his family, right? Might have some details, and even just that much, I think, like, really dictated, Finrey's behavior and his outlook. Because somebody with hope will do, outrageous things. And I think the constantly pressuring to try and find Dakota, and then we got back from the big fight and we found him and we set it up and all this sort of stuff. And I think that there is, like, I think we've had a pivotal moment in the Finrey story. Like, this is a big pivotal moment where it's like that hope, it's no longer hope. There's there is a thirst of vengeance.
Yeah. Big time.
There was a little bit of it came through when Finrey wanted to see Harm's book the other week, and he added in Jason's name, just scribbled it in, and it was all a bit funny, but I was like, oh, that's interesting. This is the book of people that I kill. It's interesting that he wants somebody's name in that book.
Right.
And, I thought that was very interesting. So, now we've got this thing where it's like his hope's gone. This chance that his, sister and his mother are still okay, right? Dakota's crushed that. His spirit has taken a fair, it's been cut down. And so it's going to be very interesting to see if we've got the Chipper, out there wanting to date, wanting to be doing things full of energy, or if we get a bit of a darker,
Yeah. Gonna come back in black clothes and a deep voice.
Yeah. I'm the Batman.
Yeah.
Dye his hair black and slick it down.
Yeah.
I mean, it might
Magical
not be like that. He might have like a period of mourning, right? He might just do something, fast for a few days, do something like that. He may take on one of the new, he's heard about some gods of vengeance and this sort of thing, so we could hear a little bit more of that.
Plan to become a paladin, right?
Well, I think that he
Maybe.
may have taken on a few extra bits and pieces to get himself to paladin levels. Yeah.
Interesting that if he does go down that route, having had this last session as opportunity to describe how we level up. I don't think going to any other class was part of the plan, right? It's interesting
Yeah.
how
No.
one event can pivot how you
Yeah.
portray your whole character and what that means, multi-classing or even pivoting classing altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be
Yeah.
an interesting session tomorrow.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? No, it's eluded me.
But I mean, this is part of Robin's stories. I thought for ages we were going to be doing a chasing down Finnery's mum and sister type process, right? Like maybe they're going to get weaved in later on, that they appear and we do a little heroic saving them thing, and then we get this where it's like, actually, there's no town to go to. There's no master that they've been sold to. There's no crumbs to follow. Instead, you've got like a horrible end to this
One
desire.
of the worst ways.
I was going
When
to
I sacrifice to Gragnell. Oh gosh.
well, tell us about Gragnell, Carlos.
Ragnell,
Ragnell.
the god with many arms, with many muscular arms. His worshippers, I'm reading from the wiki now. His worshippers wear a single droplet of blood as their single. It is said that every limb given in sacrifice to Gragnell gives it to him for use. So he's the other god in Krago that they worship. He's come up a few times where there are, the most devout followers there have their limbs completely gone, so they're just like carried around as little heads and bodies. Yeah,
Lovely.
slaves thing.
Lovely.
I'm wondering too what Finry wants to do. Does he want to, destroy Krago, kill Gragnell?
It's interesting because I know he was very much against going anywhere near Krago, so will that change? Will that be like the destination he just hell bent on going to straight away?
Yeah.
Or does he still want to avoid it? We'll see.
Yeah, going to be interesting. Very interesting.
Does Malchus or Harm even know that Finry's got this missing sister and mum?
I don't think so.
Don't believe so. I mean, that part of the story I don't think is really being discussed, in canon. It's, something we've seen the RP about and heard the story of out of character, but I'm not sure the characters know that yet. So, it could be some interesting role play on the drive as we do a bit of a on the road again, bit of montage this week.
That's what I was curious about, because I think when Malchus gets back and then we have the team meeting, I tell you guys, hey, other people, we need a quick hurry to the next place. Wonder what Finry is going to be like then. Is he going to be just visibly different?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, hey Finry, what's wrong? Tell us about it. That'll be a nice RP.
Hey, will he tell us about it? Will it take a while?
Will he even be a paladin? Will the god even accept it?
Yeah.
Whichever one he chooses.
Very interesting.
Did we all know he was going to find this Dakota Jones?
Yeah, good point. I think we'll have to double check. I mean, there was this idea that we were all doing stuff this week. So, I mean, I didn't tell anyone I was going to go and murder a bunch of people, but I would have said to them, hey, I'm going to be away for a few days while I do a bunch of Anubis-y stuff, I'm going to go pray at the temple for a while. So I would have given some details about where I was going. Marcus might have said, hey, I don't know what Marcus would have said.
Yeah, I think for me it's more
It
like,
is sneaky.
I'm just going to go out and, explore the lands around or something, because definitely don't want anyone knowing going back to the house, especially after the, just in case, the guard, the big guard dude catches him or something.
Question for you, Harm. Given that I like how you've died, it's a very Gandalf moment, dying to level up. How does Anubis bring someone back to life if he's the god of death?
True.
So, I mean, I had my, the way I thought about it is, he helps people cross over, right? One of those things is through that death process, he helps them cross over. So he just didn't cross me over, he just sent me back.
Okay, didn't go into the light, kicked you out.
No, that's pretty much it, right? And that was actually part of the initial grave domain that I kind of started. The initial backstory for Harm was that his name was Carlos, and he was a grave domain cleric. And that's actually part of the story of how he organised Carlos Con, which is happening in the
Yeah.
background. And looking for investors, if you know anyone who's earning 10% on every sale, you could open a stall at Carlos Con. Just saying.
I think that. Sorry, I'll divert later. Go.
So Carlos was initially, the original Carlos was a grave domain cleric, and he was somebody who was just all about helping people cross over. And eventually, when all the stuff happened with the crystals, he realized he was actually killing them and stealing their life essence rather than like making them comfortable as they cross over. And that was kind of the whole catalyst for him then, you know, after killing all these people and know that, realizing it, you know, crossing over from grave domain to death domain. And I think there was just part of that story there of, you know, like a death cleric, of like the death domain god kind of being like, okay, well, I'm killing you, but I'm not fully killing you. You know, you're on 0 HP type thing rather than lost all your death saves.
Okay.
So that's the RP for it.
I like it. So what next? We're off to travel the roads and get ourselves to Pranine.
Sure. Are we going to Pranine?
We're going to Pranine on the way to somewhere else.
Well, if we go to Pranine, there's a chance we go via Krago.
Yeah.
You know, we head
Yep.
north. It's there. We're going from
Yeah.
Rivolo, and you know that's kind of central. If we go a little bit via, you know, the coast on the left hand side of the avenues, we're heading up north. Left hand side will kind of take us almost directly there, but the more direct route is, you know, just up via Krago. So
So
Yeah.
the place we've been directed to go to is Pine Fort. Now we can get there
Mhm.
via Pranine, and if that takes us near Krago, then all hell may break loose. But what are we going to
It
Pranine
may.
for again? We're going to Pranine because Lair Bleth. No, not Lair Bleth. That's right. Someone else before that was saying there was another occurrence of an eruption of crystals and goons coming out of the ground up there, right?
Yeah. But I don't think that's related to the circles.
No, it's just
Yeah.
related to crystals.
Yeah.
So there's a decision to be made there whether we go via Pranine and try and solve that, whether we're going to get dragged to Krago, or whether we just, you know, line of sight direct to Pine Fort.
Yeah, because I think originally, Flint's mother or something,
Mhm.
we were going to go back to his town.
yeah, the fifth
Find
circle is,
circle,
you
yeah.
know, that's it. Yeah,
Is that Pine Fort? Don't know.
we might have to share the map. I have to share the map somehow.
that's
But
gonna
where
be
is Pine Fort on the map? I'm looking for it now. I can't
think-
see it.
Do you mean Pinemore Fort?
I don't know. I wrote it down as
I can't
Pine
see that
Fort,
either.
but I could have it wrong.
That's on the top right in Dramash.
Top right. Okay.
Let's see if I can quickly bring the map up for anyone who
Pinemore
cares.
Fort. There you go.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, and I guess like for anyone who hasn't caught on, we are in a land that is a homebrew world with fought up by our Dam of Doom, and we're very lucky the amount of effort that's been gone into this. I think he's actually running. Carlos, you might be able to confirm multiple groups for us through this world at the moment.
Yeah.
Only one being streamed, but multiple groups going through this RP world at the moment. This homebrew world.
Yeah. Yep. I'm in another campaign. We're Galnedians coming to take
Right.
over, conquer the lands. Yeah.
Love it. Can't wait
Yeah.
to see two worlds collide one time.
Oh man.
And you know,
Out
see
of
you in the
character.
middle of it.
Yeah, out of character. Oh man, I really want my two characters to be able to screw each other over somehow, just because they
Yeah.
so definitely would. Oh man.
Love it. There we go.
But,
We can see there the map.
lovely.
Sorry, Dave, I just completely covered up your head.
No, that's okay. Better thing to see.
I don't know where to put
Better
it.
thing to see. Yeah, that's fine. In the middle of me is fine. Just cover me up. No dramas. Legitimately, that's
I'm
totally
putting
fine.
the right direction. I'm putting the wrong direction.
No,
just
but
trying to
seriously, make
find
it
out
big.
where we were.
Make it big.
Yeah,
Make it big.
Make
I
it
don't
big.
think many
Yeah,
people have been
100%.
able to see it.
Yeah, it might be a good thing. Maybe we can send it out as part of the buy me a coffee.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know,
So I can't see my cursor on the page, but oh yes, can I?
that's okay.
Yes, we can. So let's have a look. Where are we now? We are in.
So we're dead middle there down the bottom, where the
Avolo.
green next to Nandor. Next to
Yep.
Nandor is in the middle of Volo.
We know that Krago is up here with the giant, like, friendly-looking skull is.
Yeah. It's a lovely little place you don't want to visit, just a little bit northeast of Avolo with a little black icon there. That is my Anubis Landing location.
Anubis Landing. Look at all that history that's been created
There
out
it
of
is.
the blue. Fantastic.
There it is. There is some. There's a little path written there. So, yeah, that's a little history bit. I think it'd be cool if we add some more of those in as we go along, where things are happening.
hmm
You know?
That's very close
Yeah,
to
it was
Azios.
like-
Okay, so
Yes.
what else is up here? We have to go to. We're going to likely go via Biro,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, makes sense.
We're going to just hop through all these towns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing a bit of a travel montage. We may skip a few towns because there's Praneen,
Yeah.
but the Pinemore Fort is top right hand corner.
Top right.
Yeah.
I was trying to find.
Yeah, that's
that's-
left. So the top right hand, other right. There we go. Keep going. Up
What,
higher.
what you see is a little bit slower than what.
Yeah. So it should be up where those little lines are, little squiggly lines
Yeah.
like water at the top there.
What?
That's it. You got the very top,
Oh god.
three little
Okay,
lines.
I see.
No,
Right up there.
left, that one. There it is, Pinemore. So
Hmm.
there's a potential that is the location we're going. I have to double check where. That will also be interesting to hear a little bit about Wraith and Flint and Raya and their level up stories and what they've been doing.
Yeah.
It would, and we might have to hear about that while we're traveling.
Yeah.
But I think we'll have to make a decision pretty quickly whether we go wide on Krago and head out to Praneen, and then east to Pine Fort, whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
or go via Krago and see how that takes us. He's really set us up with this quite bit of a dilemma here, I think.
I think for Malchus, I think he'll push to go to the Pinemore Fort, go with the circles, because with this other crew, oof, don't know. They might finish all the circles before we even get to the second one.
Where do we know yet where all the circles are?
No, I mean we've only visited a single circle so far.
We
so,
don't know the locations of others apart
Yeah.
from one's in the top right hand corner.
Yeah,
So
I think we need to take a little bit of a focus on that. So we've done 11 sessions now for one circle. So if there's 7 circles, we're looking at 70 or 80 sessions to get the rest of them at this rate. So hopefully we speed up just a little bit on the circles
Yeah.
for the next few things.
It feels like it's going fast though to me. It feels like everything's moving along really rapidly.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, man,
You don't think
there's a
so?
lot of things. There's a lot happening. You know, I mean, the thing is, it's not like we're sitting around. You know, the couple of weeks we've had all sorts of things around the idea of the fight with the Thieves Guild that we caught up with, and you know, having these first little bits that first little sneak peek into a couple of these relationships, the first crystal at the fountain. There's been lots of firsts, and so I think because it's been so different, it's felt like it's moved quickly, but there's been so many varied things that we haven't had a chance to delve into, you know, the Seven Rings story too much, apart from that very first time where we got our rings. So
Here's the thing though, right? We've got 7 circles or whatever to go traipse around to. We've got like every second week we're creating a new big bad to try and take down. We've got you know, let's say 8 backstories to potentially look at resolving. Plus then we have to look at the
Good
fairy realm as well. How does that play into it? And all that mess
Interesting.
that's been created with Izzy.
Yeah.
This could go on for quite a while.
I mean, the thing is, say for Harm though, Harm doesn't have like a mysterious backstory. He's just doing what he's doing, and if there's you know, some story that that Demon of Doom wants to play out, we can play that story out. Otherwise, there doesn't have to be a resolution to
This
what's
is
happening
true.
with Arm.
This is true.
So, it's one of those things where it can just play out as part of the bigger story.
Mm.
Maybe the Seven Rings are related to the celestial plan that he has. And if it doesn't, maybe the plan is I just murder a bunch of people that he wants control of when they die. Maybe that's all as big as the plan has to be. So, I think that there's some backstories where it would be really cool to dig into a little bit better, and some others that'll just be nice to have as going along and part of the world that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree.
But also like 1,000 big bads that we keep creating.
1,000 big bads. It's going to be amazing. And we might wrap it up there, gents, unless there's anything
Yeah,
else you
sweet.
wanted to leave us with.
Good to chat.
Uh,
Good to chat.
Questions from the chat?
I think there's any other last questions. Dave has shared his harm sheet. Fantastic.
Yeah,
The link is in the chat there if anyone wants to check it out. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out
Sweet.
with us.
Perfect.
And we'll be back again tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Sydney time, to kick
Gonna be a
off
good session.
episode 12.
I got a feeling. it's gonna be the best session yet. I just have a good feeling about it.
Oh,
Bit of
yeah.
everything.
We'll look out.
Yeah.
Bit of montage, bit of RP,
Yeah.
bit of battle.
We've
Yeah.
been advised to expect a bit of everything and be prepared. So it's going to be great.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there.
Enjoy
Thanks
it.
for joining us, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Sweet.
Bye.
Thanks, team.
Good
Bye.
night.